everybody. Happy Friday. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the Lymph Lounge, the conversational podcast about cultivating a state of flow in our bodies and in our lives. So sit back and relax because today I am sharing with you a wonderful interview with Taylor Colpitts, registered acupuncturist specializing in facial acupuncture and founder of Thrive Wellness Boutique. Taylor has been an entrepreneur and business owner for the last 6 years, and as a registered acupuncturist, she is all about focusing on skin concerns and helping people achieve health from the inside out. She is extremely passionate about holistic living and helping people to create balanced lifestyles. Now, as you probably know, at the Lymph Initiatives, we are all about lymphatic health, and by focusing on lymphatic health, that also helps with well-aging and longevity. And I love to experiment with a lot of different well-aging techniques. And I went to see Taylor for facial acupuncture, and I just loved everything she had to say. I just loved the conversations. So I decided to have her on my podcast to interview her and discuss some well-aging topics. So without further ado, here's the amazing interview Taylor and I did together. Taylor, welcome to the Lymph Lounge. I am so happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me. I was excited to do this.
Yes. One of the reasons I wanted to have you on here is because I went to see Taylor when I had like a very stubborn wrinkle that wouldn't come off on my forehead. And within 3 sessions, it was like all smoothed out. So we talk a lot about acupuncture during the services. And I wanted to have you on to talk about that, especially facial acupuncture, because that's what you focus on, right? So maybe just to start, maybe some listeners are not familiar with acupuncture. Could you describe a little bit what it is?
Yeah. So basically, I like to call it a preventative medicine. It's been around for thousands of years. It's traditional Chinese medicine. Basically, the premise behind acupuncture in a nutshell is to seek to restore balance within the body. That's what I tell people. It just helps regulate your body systems. And it's done via needles inserted along different meridians within the body. And meridians are different energy pathways that run up and down the body that correspond to different organs. If you want to get really into it, there's meridians called extra meridians. But anyway, mostly they correlate to the organs in the body.
Yeah. And, with the Lymph Lounge and the Lymph Initiatives, I'm really into well-aging and longevity. So I think it is a fantastic method for that. Now that we know a little bit more about acupuncture, could you tell us a little bit about your story, your background, and how you got into acupuncture, especially facial acupuncture?
Yeah. So I jumped around a lot during my education. My parents would laugh hearing me talk about this. I thought I wanted to be a social worker, and then I went to school briefly for child and youth care worker. I dropped out after 6 months. I went to school in Fredericton at St. Thomas for psychology. I stayed there 1 year, and then I switched to UNB, and then I stayed and I finished my undergrad. I did psychology. And then I thought I wanted to be a psychologist, and I quickly realized that I did not. I started getting acupuncture probably in my 3rd year of university, and something just resonated with me. And then I asked her if I could shadow her, and then it just cascade effect like that. And then I finished my undergrad and then went to school for acupuncture right after that.
Wow.
In terms of facial acupuncture, I don't know what initially piqued my interest because no one did it on me or anything like that. And no one was doing it in my clinic at school when we have to do clinical hours. I obviously saw a course or something, but I've always been interested with the rejuvenation and the youthfulness aspect. And I went and took my first course and I fell in love with it. I came back, started doing it in clinic on my patients, and I would do all my research projects on facial acupuncture, all my case studies. My teachers were like, okay, like get new material. But I was super intrigued by it. And then I went and took like probably 2 more facial acupuncture courses. And I just think that what it can do is so amazing just by stimulating your body's own natural resources, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. It's a very interesting journey. And even like I always look at people's background and it kind of always makes sense. Even with psychology, it must help you as well in your acupuncture practice, right?
Yeah, I mean, when a lot of people come in, they're like, they always leave. They're like, sorry for dumping all like spewing. I'm like, this is my job. Like I'm
Mhm.
not a therapist by any means. I would never call myself that, but I would say like a lot of people say that it's like a therapy session when they're coming in. They tell me a lot of personal things that are going on in their lives. So we work a lot with the emotional side. I would say I work primarily with the emotional side of things because I believe that most things have an emotional root cause. And I also do energy work too. So it all goes hand in hand, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Emotions show up on the face as signs of aging.
Right.
Now, in terms of facial acupuncture, maybe that's what I would like to discuss a little bit more today since you specialize in it and it's like an episode about well aging. What are some of the benefits of facial acupuncture?
So I would say, obviously, reduction of fine lines and wrinkles. It can help sagging skin. It can help a whole host of skin ailments like rosacea, psoriasis, acne. I'm trying to think of other things off the top of my head. Like I already said, sagging skin, but like hooded eyes, things like that. It can actually help stimulate hair growth as well. It can help with basically anything. I mean, you can't claim to heal, but acupuncture can literally help with just about anything.
That's so amazing. And what are some of the myths that you see the most?
They didn't expect to be so relaxed. They expected more needles. But there are different kinds of facial acupuncture. I believe it's Japanese style. They put quite a few needles in the face, and I just
Okay.
personally don't resonate with that. I think your body would have to be in such a strong state. Like you'd have to have a really strong constitution in order to be able to tolerate that sort of treatment. It's just a lot of
Mhm.
energy going to your head, and I feel like select people wouldn't be great with that treatment. And like, what are they doing outside of the treatment? Like, is their body super dehydrated? Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, it depends on so many factors. I've honestly been cutting back on my needle insertions in the last few months because I've been doing a lot of face sculpting too, and that in combination with the acupuncture and the light therapy, that's been crazy, the results from that. So I'm like, I don't even
I
need to
believe it.
use that many
Mhm.
needles. And I think it's just more comfortable for the patient. I'm more pro gentle treatments. I just personally, and a lot of people would disagree with me, that's okay. I'm just into gentle acupuncture because I'm getting really good results with doing it my way. So that's just what aligns with me.
Yeah. And I think it's amazing that you're still exploring,
Mhm.
even today, new ways to combine different things to get even better results. So,
That's just me though. Like I've learned throughout the years that I need to keep learning or I feel stagnant and I get bored and I lose passion. And I am someone who has to be very passionate about what I'm doing in order to keep doing it. That's something that I've learned about myself in the last 6 years.
now we talk a lot about cosmetic injections on the podcast, and I would consider facial acupuncture an excellent alternative. I'd like you to talk to us a little bit about that versus cosmetic injections.
Okay. So I get this question a lot because some of my patients do have Botox, which is totally cool. You just have to avoid the area for 3 weeks. But
Mhm.
in terms of a lot of people tell me they get it for prevention. It just doesn't really make sense in the long run because what happens when you're getting Botox is you're paralyzing the muscle, right? So continuous paralyzation of a muscle, what happens? It's going to atrophy, and your skin needs to stick to muscle, so it's going to be like. So even if you are still getting Botox, I would still recommend getting facial acupuncture just to keep the integrity of the muscle, which will then help the skin health as well. Um, but Botox paralyzes the muscle. facial acupuncture encourages blood flow and circulation and actually helps like tone and tighten your face, not paralyze it. So it's actually better for the overall skin health to go with facial acupuncture. But again, there's zero judgment when someone comes in. It's whatever aligns with you. I will support you in any way that I can during that treatment. But just in terms of the differences, like one's paralysis, one is actually doing the opposite. You're strengthening the muscle.
And it's all about educating people, because a lot of people do not know that. They're not told that, right?
No, and that's
When
what I'm
people come
finding.
in and it's on the intake form and we discuss it, and I always say, did you know it actually stops lymph flow? Because one of the ways that the body uses to move lymph is muscle contractions. So sometimes when they know that, they're like, oh my God, I didn't know that. And, eventually a lot of them just stop.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I'm all about informed consent. I just think that if you know all of the information pertaining to that procedure or inject, whatever you want to call it, and you still choose to do that, then that's okay. But if you don't know all of the information associated with it, then that's kind of just like, it just doesn't sit well with me. I just think people should know what they're injecting into their bodies and what the possible side effects and long-term effects of that can be. And obviously, like, I understand the appeal because Botox is like instantaneous. It's instantaneous, right? And I feel like a lot of us are in this mentality where it's quick fixes, right? We're so used to quick fixes. But when you're working with your body and you're stimulating your body's own natural resources and collagen and elastin production, it's going to take a little bit longer. And because we're doing it naturally, so you just have to be patient and trust the process.
Yes. It's a very good reminder, because I always tell people to not feel guilty if they're looking for quick fixes. We all do it. Right? We've all done it at some point. And that's how humans have survived for so long. And that's why we evolved. So, removing the shame and guilt around quick fixes, and then moving on to, okay, what can I do to support my body better long term?
Exactly. 100%.
Now, also, I wanted to have you on to talk about your event coming up called Babble in Business Women's Panel.
Yes,
it's on May 4th. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So we started off by doing these events like in December, and we just thought it would be fun to have a girls' night theme, because at the time there was nothing like that. Jen and I were just like, we love girly stuff. We were like, this would be super fun. So we had our first one. It went really well. And then we had our second one. And then I was kind of like, I want to do something different. And I pitched the idea to Jenna about doing a panel. Like, I have never done a panel. I've never been to a panel. I don't know why I wanted to do it. I just was like, this feels like we need to do it. And she was like on board immediately. And she's like, yes. So we host the panels and we get women from different career paths to come and speak on the panel. And our last one went really well. It was a lot of fun because we got to connect with people that I don't know that I would have been able to connect with or had the opportunity or just like organically met them if we didn't do the panel. And it's just kind of cool to hear people's stories and to learn more about their business and just, I don't know, get to like hear them, get to learn about them more on like a personal level. I just thought that was cool. But it's also, I don't like to call it a networking event because I don't know why. Like, I just don't.
Well, it could create a visceral reaction in a lot of people. They don't like networking, but they do like to connect.
That's what I mean. It's like, in my personal opinion, I've been to quite a few because I thought when I started my business, I'm like, oh, I have to go to these. I have to do this. Even though they weren't resonating with me, I just thought that like I had to do it. But I just feel like this is different because there's no pressure and we just want people to come and have fun. And if you meet someone there or make a connection, then that's an added bonus. But we just want people to enjoy themselves and maybe learn something new about someone on the panel or about themselves or feel inspired.
Yeah, be inspired in business or even in personal.
Right. Yeah, both.
Yeah. And where can people get tickets for that event?
So we're just getting people to send us a direct message on our Thrive page, and they can e-transfer, or we can send them a QuickBooks link so that they can pay via credit card.
And we will include the link to your Thrive business account so they can contact you there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, again, Taylor, thank you so much for coming on here and take the time to chat about all sorts of things from acupuncture to Botox to your event.
Well, thanks for having me. I was super excited when you asked me. I get excited about using the microphone.
Yeah, me too. And I hope our listeners got a couple golden nuggets maybe from what we discussed. And if they want to get in touch with you personally to book an appointment or discuss facial acupuncture or acupuncture in general, how can they reach you?
They can reach out to me via Instagram. My booking link is in my bio. Click that link directly, or they can message me through socials as well.
Yeah, obviously, we're going to have all those links in the episode description in the blog post associated with this episode.
Perfect.
Yes. And for everybody today, don't forget, keep it flowing, and I will see you in the next episode.